Hello everyone, this is Moby's Primal, and I am back with another Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. This is this is the first of 5 games in the Buckeye Battles tournament, and I'm excited to bring it to you as my first new battle against the new edition Empire. So this is 2,400 point blind deployment scenario. Basically, it's a battle line, except when the armies are deploying, there's a big cardboard divider between the players, so neither could see where the other is deploying. It's a very cool start scenario. You know what your opponent has, but you don't know where everything is going to go. So, anyway, let's get it on. Alright, so my opponent has a very balanced army here. On the right side, he has 3 Demigryph Knights with full command who are batteried by an unit of Inner Circle Knights. There's 8 of them with full command. Next to that, he made a bit of a mistake here. This Free Company detachment is actually supposed to be a small unit of swordsman detachment. So I let him do the old switcheroo. Mighty kind of me, considering this is a tournament setting and things are supposed to be very permanent. And then he has 24 great swords. They house his BSB, who carries the Griffin Standard, and also a Warrior Priest. In behind everything is a Luminarch of Hish, and then over on the left is his big horde of swordsmen, again with a detachment who did the switcheroo with the Free Company, and then that swordman unit is joined by the general, who has the armor of meteoric iron, an obsidian blade, and then that's it. And then also his priest. He has a second priest in there with the speculum, Van Horsling speculum, whatever it is. In the very end, he has a small crossbow unit joined by his level 4 lore of light wizard, and just out of frame is a great cannon. All right, so my right flank sees a trebuchet in the corner, in behind my Pegasus Knights. Both archer units are within 6 inches of that obelisk thing, which is some sort of fancy terrain. Grants +1 to wound on, +1 to rolls for wounds, which is, it's rather nice, so I may as well abuse it. Then I have my Knights and Fast Cavalry, and on the other side is here is my Peasant Castle. The Fast Cav is way in the corner, and then in the very far forward corner, just out of, you probably can't even see it past those trees, is my second trebuchet. So I pray, and the Empire take the first turn. He basically just moves up with all of his units and starts to shuffle his cavalry around here on the right, just to make it more difficult for me to catch him off guard. Shooting kills off one of my fast cavalry, who are also netted with the net of a Mintalk spell during magic. But that's about all that happens. Cannon hit a knight, but I ward saved it, so blink, the lady saved me there. So Heartless won, and I start surging my peasants forward. My fast cavalry failed their strength check to charge the cannon, so that sort of sucks, because it would have been really nice to get the thing off the table on turn 1. Over on the right, I park my fast cavalry right up in front of his Demigryph Knights, with the front of the unit 12 inches and a hair away from my Knight Lance. So basically, I'll flee the Demigryph charge, and when they catch my fast cav, I'll be in a beautiful position to counter with my Knights and my Pegasus. This is the same move I did against my Beastman player, I think in the very last battle report that I did. So nothing of significance in magic happens, but in shooting, whoa, my trebuchet lands a perfect shot into the great swords and wrecks that unit. And then despite being leadership 9, hold the line, and rerollable because the BSB, they fail their panic check, but they only flee 2 wounds. So, I mean, I can't really complain. The odds of failing that panic check are like 1 in 300. So the table looks like this going into turn 2, and the Demigryph Knights take the bait. They charge the yeoman. I flee something like 6 or 7 inches, and the yeomen are cut down, leaving an extremely easy charge for me with my Knight Lance. Meanwhile, everything lines up after the great swords rally. And then my little yeomen over here get blasted up, and the last guy chickens out. And that's pretty much it. We're on to Heartless 2. My Knights charge the Demigryph. We take the charge, and my Pegasus, I figure I'll go ahead and try to charge the Circle Knights. I needed a 5. I rolled a triple 2. Ugh, bummer. I do think that with the charge, maybe a magic buff, Weisson's Wildform or something like that, I could have taken those Knights with the Pegasus. You know, Weisson's Wildform makes those ponies Strength 5. That's a lot of Strength 5 jumping out. Aside from that, my peasants start to move up and receive other enemy charges. And then in hand-to-hand, Delita cuts down one of the Demigryph with a heroic killing blow, and my Knights do like 1 or 2 other wounds without sustaining any wounds in return. And then I can't catch the Demigryph with the Pursue, but I do overrun into the Inner Circle Knights nicely, so I should be able to clean this unit up also. So, pretty happy with my right flank, what's going on. The table looks like this, going into Empire 3, and I receive multiple charges here. The Swordmen get stuck in against the Honor Guard, and then the Great Swords and their Swordsman detachment both charge my Blessing-buffed peasants. Sam, my mage on the pony, blessed them in early turn 1. So I'm actually feeling pretty confident about both matchups. I think my numbers and halberds will win against the Great Swords, and against the big Swordsman unit. I mean, those guys, aside from the characters, Swordsmen aren't just strong enough to really wear down the Honor Guard quickly without magic support. So I'll be stubborn holding up that unit for a really long time, and that's exactly where I want that unit, because that general has that no armor save sword, and I don't want my knights fighting that guy. So during the shooting, the cannon misfires, blows itself up, and then the nearby crossbowmen panic, and it effectively takes the shooting element out of this entire Empire army. And in hand-to-hand combat, both of my infantry fights go predictably. I think I lost both, but I stuck thanks to a drawer, and actually did pretty good against the Swordmaster, or the Great Swords, considering. And then on night combat, I actually killed quite a few Inner Circle Knights. They killed one of my guys in return. Actually, a pony killed one of my knights in return, and then they fled, and I elected to not pursue because I wanted to support my center line with my knights, get in there and scare off all the Great Swords and stuff that are fighting my peasants. And I figured my Pegasus Knights could mop things up in later turns. So in Heartless 3, my knights do charge the Swordsman detachment in the flank. Also, you know, I figured instead of charging the fleeing Inner Circle Knights and then failing to charge because I'll charge the Inner Circle Knights, they'll flee, and then that's probably going to put me out of range to catch them. I'll put my Pegasus in a position to flank that Luminarch in next turn. The ward save from that thing wasn't really helping the army terribly much, but it's a lot of easy points to get gone, and it also is a morale killer. I also shoot the Trebuchet at it, but it scatters and kills said 10 swordsmen that's fighting my Honor Guard, so that's actually kind of nice. And then after combat, of course my Honor Guard lose again, but they stick. And then the combat on the right goes my way by a ton because of, you know, all my knights charging and stuff like that. But I didn't realize that Great Swords were stubborn, and any detachment that they're with is also stubborn. So I'm stuck in fighting this unit for another round or two before I can finish off everything. Alright, we move on to Empire 4, and it sees the Luminarch charge Sam, and the Free Company charge my peasants. And both failed to charge. It was a long shot for the Luminarch. I think he needed an 8 or something like that, but failed it. The Free Company needed a 3, and they rolled a pair of 1s. So, whoops. I mean, that effectively buys me another round of shooting. And we pretty much go to hand-to-hand. The mage is fleeing, and there's no shooting, so Delita finishes off the Swordmasters, and then the Great Swords are killed by... or they're getting extremely low in number, but I should kill everything next turn. And my Honor Guard, they're starting to look a little thin, but help should be there soon. That unit of peasants should be freed up next turn. Moving to Heartless 4, and the Pegasus charge the Luminarch, who flees, and they flee right in front of my peasants, which, you know, I'm okay with. It basically gives them a roadblock, so the Free Company can't charge my peasants, and my peasants can't charge the Free Company. And then we fight one last round of combat. I kill all the Great Swords. The BSB alone can't stand all the combat res, breaks and dies, and at this point, the game is called for time, with the table looking like this. So, you know, it's pretty frustrating only getting 4 turns during a tournament. You know, with another 2 turns, I probably could have chased down the remaining Demigryph Knights and the Inner Circle Knights and scored a lot more points. And his Wizard and maybe that Luminarch and Crossbow unit I could have killed also to get the point spread much larger. You know, it's unlikely I would kill all those swordsmen though, but oh well. As it stands, it was a heartless victory by something like 800 or 900 points. So, doing all right for my first tournament game. Anyways, that's the report. Hope to see you in round 2.